to our careers, education, health, and social lives. Welcome to the core program, an e-learning, e-mentoring, and e-counseling program designed to equip you with diverse skills to enable you to thrive now and even beyond this pandemic. We encourage you to download the video, audio, and workbook for each episode for free on the core program website www.core.com.gh. If you are an MTN user in Ghana, you can download all videos, audios, or workbooks on our website without using your data. It's completely zero rated. And here's the bonus benefit: if you register on the website and go through a minimum of the 20 of the 24 sessions before the end of November, you will qualify for a certificate of completion from the core program. We will be very excited to hear from you. Post your questions and comments on our social media pages at core program, or send them to us on the core WhatsApp hotline 0551 535 533. Core, learning together, growing together. Are you a young person dealing with the disruptions caused by COVID-19 to our careers, education, health, and social lives? Welcome to the core program, an e-learning, e-mentoring, and e-counseling program designed to equip you with diverse skills to enable you to thrive now and even beyond this pandemic. We encourage you to download the video, audio, and workbook for each episode for free on the core program website www.core.com.gh. If you are an MTN user in Ghana, you can download all videos, audios, or workbooks on our website without using your data. It's completely zero rated. And here's the bonus benefit: if you register on the website and go through a minimum of the 20 of the 24 sessions before the end of November, you will qualify for a certificate of completion from the core program. We will be very excited to hear from you. Post your questions and comments on our social media pages at core program, or send them to us on the core WhatsApp hotline 0551 535 533. Core, learning together, growing together. Are you a young person dealing with the disruptions caused by COVID-19 to our careers, education, health, and social lives? Welcome to the core program, an e-learning, e-mentoring, and e-counseling program designed to equip you with diverse skills to enable you to thrive now and even beyond this pandemic. We encourage you to download the video, audio, and workbook for each episode for free on the core program website www.core.com.gh. If you are an MTN user in Ghana, you can download all videos, audios, or workbooks on our
education is key to success. Or maybe not the key, but it is key to success. In other words, education is essential for success. See, argue all you want, but this statement is legit. Name one man who succeeded without education, huh? I know many will be quick to mention names like Osei Kwame despite, because despite he had never been to any higher learning institution, he made a fortune for himself. Well, hold up. He may not have had formal education, but you will be wrong to say he has no education. See, education is simply the process of knowledge and skill acquisition. Undoubtedly, there are several ways to reach this destination, and school is just one of many such creations. So yes, I agree the school is not the only means to attain success, but I asked someone, what viable skills do you have to succeed in real life? Don't just lie in bed, pick up your phone, go online, join a hashtag that says that education is not the key to success when clearly you have no viable skills besides retweeting. You call names like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg as dropouts who succeeded to buttress your claim that education is not the key to success. Well, Bill Gates didn't need a key. He literally made his own doors and windows for success. So unless you've got skills like Zuckerberg, stay in school and face books. The crux of my message is this: add value to yourself. So whether you do that in school or not, simply equip yourself with the requisite skills, knowledge, and training that sells in the real world. Being in school doesn't exempt you from this. Business owners employ skills, not thermometers, so forget about your degrees. And no greater masters exist than to master the courage to learn things you were never taught in school. Food for thought. An illiterate is someone who cannot read and write. So what do we call someone who has been to school and still cannot read and write? And what do we call someone who has never been to school and yet can read and write? Keep those thoughts to yourself. But I'll leave you with this one quote from Albert Einstein: that education is what remains after one has forgotten what one learned in school. Thank you.
Education is what remains when one forgets what he learns in school. Exactly. True that. That one, I agree with you totally, because I've seen the opportunities where that education brings to us when you have that which you know to do, and not just what you learned and you have not really applied.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Most
and that
welcome.
was really great.
Thank you.
We'll see you again during the program, won't
Definitely.
we?
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, see you then. Viewers, thank you so much for being with us today on today's Springboard Core Hangout. The Springboard Core Hangout is a collaboration or is a partnership between Springboard Roadshow Foundation, Solidaridad, and the MasterCard Foundation. It is our privilege to be with you every Thursday evening, and I know this is one of your favorite places to be. So I want to say, don't go anywhere, stay put. We will be right back, and I'll give you something that will blow your mind. See you shortly.
Are you a young person dealing with the disruptions caused by COVID-19 to our careers, education, health, and social lives? Welcome to the Core Program, an e-learning, e-mentoring, and e-counseling program designed to equip you with diverse skills to enable you to thrive now and even beyond this pandemic. We encourage you to download the video, audio, and workbook for each episode for free on the Core Program website, www.core.com.gh. If you are an MTN user in Ghana, you can download all videos, audios, or workbooks on our website without using your data. It's completely zero rated. And here's the bonus benefit: if you register on the website and go through a minimum of the 20 of the 24 sessions before the end of November, you will qualify for a certificate of completion from the Core Program. We will be very excited to hear from you. Post your questions and comments on our social media pages at Core Program, or send them to us on the Core WhatsApp hotline 0551 535 533. Core, learning together, growing together.
Back to the Core Program. Welcome back to the Springboard Core Hangout. This hangout is your favorite hangout. I know definitely that you are waiting impatiently, but let's see a scenario. So you are nice. Well, you know, sometimes you have this idea where you have sent, let's say, 100 letters out. Actually, I once listened to Salome Adadivo, who said he sent out 400 letters for jobs, and he got, I mean, all the interviews that he went to, he aced the 400th one. But anyway, so you send these your CV and your resume letters, and you know last week we looked at CVs and resume letters and resumes and cover letters, and you have done this, and you are, by the grace of God, you received a call or you received a message from the email. You are invited to an interview, and then you have cold sweat and your feet start churning, and you are wondering, will this be a successful one, or will this be one of those that you want to call into a little hole and dry up and nobody sees you again? Well, today I have extremely good news for you, because today we are going to look at acing your interview. Therefore, we'll look at the ways in which we should prepare ourselves for interviews. And when we get that golden opportunity, we show ourselves in the best light that we can. Today, I am privileged, and when I say privileged, I mean really, really privileged to have joining us in the studio. We have Ebo Allen Kofi. He is one of the leading HR professionals in Ghana. He works with Carl Bank, and I know that today Ebo is going to give us practical steps, because you know at the Hangouts, we hang out and we make sure that we give out the germs that help us. Next to Ebo is Jojo Okran. Jojo Okran is a consultant, and he's also interested in raising people to fulfill their potential. And Jojo Okran would also join this conversation to ensure that together at the end of tonight, we are able to ace our interview. So therefore, our format for tonight is simple. Everyone will give his thoughts in 10 minutes, followed by Jojo, who would also give us certain practical tips, and then afterwards we come to the conversation. So therefore, if you're on Zoom, you're most welcome. If you're on Facebook, you're most welcome. And I definitely know that you have certain questions that were in your mind before you came, so you can put those on there. Make sure that you send us those questions as they are speaking. Kindly make sure that, Guy, you write down those notes. And when we finish, we will answer those questions that are burning on your mind. Don't forget that the IG Live is also there, Instagram Live. So therefore, those of you in Instagram Live, you are most welcome. Do me a favor, just let me know where you are joining us from, whether you're on Facebook, you are on Zoom, or you are in Instagram. We'll now start with Ebo. And Ebo, can you kindly take us away, please?
Thank you very much, Comfort. Thank you very much for the invitation to share some thoughts on this. And like Eko said last week, I mean, the topic is such that there's a lot of information on interviews and how you can ace, how you can even pass these recruitment steps when you're preparing for this interview. So these are just ideas I have gathered in the course of my professional life that I want to share, and then we can go ahead with the question. So I did some few slides that I'll take you through what the interview is, and probably give you some few examples or types of interviews, and then focus on some 6 things that I think that if you're able to do well, you will be able to conquer any interview that you will meet. So setting the tone, and I think that you took my introduction. I was going to ask those who are watching and those who are listening to just imagine being called for an interview. I mean, and you said it. You've applied for so many jobs, and all the prayer you are praying is that you will be called for the interview. And now the call just came through, and you are not too sure, like you said, whether to hide. But point is, it's the prayer that you have been praying. So if you believe in the God that you are praying to, then you must believe that He's going to answer that. So once it's answered, then 2 things will happen. Either you feel very elated, very inspired to go for the interview, or like you said, you want to dig some hole and then hide in it. So you are terrified, you are resigned to fate. Interesting, sometimes because people have gone for several interviews and they're not successful, they think that, okay, I mean, this is so they resign to faith and decide not to even try again. Sometimes the exposure, hey, will I get it this time around? And the fact that if I go now and I don't make it, will I get a chance again? So all these things go through the people's mind, and then they are terrified and don't even want to approach this interview or go for these interviews at all. Sometimes the people think that before the jobs are advertised, I mean, they already have their people already. So why do I waste my time in going through all this process? So today we are going to, I just want to share some few things with you as to how you can prepare for this. So number 1 is for you to know that interviews are just conversations with an objective. One side is the employer and the other side is you. But sometimes we forget it's a conversation between us and an employer and think that, it's just the employer coming to ask us a lot of questions and for us to demonstrate that we can actually answer those questions to get a job. But you have to understand tonight that interview is just a conversation with an objective. The objective for the employer's point of view is for him to find out whether you can do the job, so you have the right skills, the abilities and qualifications for the job, whether you are motivated enough to do the job, and also whether you have the qualities or the attitudes that the organization is looking for, so you fit into the culture of the organization. Now, on your part, and because it's a conversation, again, you also have a part to play in there. What you are looking for is, does this job fit my career perspective or my career progression? Do I actually want to work in an organization like that? And I give an example that there are certain institutions I may not necessarily apply to go and work in, ECG, Ghana Water, because they value engineers more than those of us in the social sciences. So I can be whoever in the work for so many years. A small boy engineer, small boy, can come. Somebody I may have even tutored will come, and then because he's an engineer, will grow faster than me. maybe paid faster, maybe paid higher than me. So you going for the interview will have to consider whether the company is even the right place for you to be or not. And then I always say that interviews are just a stage that you are going to perform. It's a stage performance. So if you rehearse well enough, know your lines, have a strategy in place that you are going to execute, then eventually when you get to the stage, you will be able to execute it. Let me summarize some things that I call rules. Yeah, but just about 6. I'll run through them quickly, and then Jojo can also come in with his perspective. So the first one is you have to do a lot of research about the company. And I say that the basic is for you to read the company's website. Go to the About Us and read. But that is the basic. If you really want to do well, then follow them on their Facebook. Go to their LinkedIn portal. So read their website. Go to their Facebook. Go to their Instagram. Go to LinkedIn, and then read about the institution. But even beyond that, the best is for you to also go search about the employees in the institution, what they do, what kind of qualifications. Sometimes I look at some qualifications people have, HR people have in some organization. I'm asking myself, hey, then I haven't gotten anywhere. Then there is so much that I will have to do. So this is what you have to do in your preparation towards attending the interview. Number 2, you need to know who you are talking to, because you see there are so many types of interviews. There are group interviews, there are one-on-one interviews, there is one that you're going to meet a panel. So you need to understand who exactly you are going to talk to. Sometimes, even if it's a panel, sometimes you can do a panel. After that, you have to go and do one-on-one with either an MD. Sometimes it's out of the office environment. So you need to understand who you are talking to and where the interview is going to happen. And so you have to ask a lot of questions. You also need to plan. Plan your answers. I said that the internet has a lot of information about how to answer interview questions. But the technology will not give you the answer, but it will guide you. So don't just copy anything on the internet and come and say, like, I have a story, maybe getting to the end of the presentation. I will share that story. So plan your answers. After planning your answer, then practice. So speak to people, let your family members, line up. You speak to these days that you can do a lot of video. Just watch yourself and listen to yourself and the things that you are saying, and then think as an employer that if you go and if I tell you these things, you'll be able to employ me. Then prepare follow-up questions. Sometimes we feel that, just asking any question, but you need to think through even the kind of questions that you want to ask, so that people will know that you actually have interest in working for the organization, and then we'll be able to give you the nod. And then the last one I'll talk about is body language. It plays a lot of role in whether you get a job or not. And so you may be saying the right things, all right, but the kind of gestures you are making, the kind of whatever you are doing behind the table in the chair that you have been given can go a long way in impacting on the results of the interview. I'll pause here, let Jojo come in, and then after that we can have the interactions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just before we go there.
Yes.
One of the things when you mentioned body language, it reminded me of our e-learning segment for today in terms of communication.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just think communication is only verbal or writing.
Yeah.
But your body language actually communicates to your audience.
Exactly.
What kind of concept you have in your mind. And it could either be a game changer.
True.
Either for the positive way or a negative way. So let's watch the way you are sitting, or even how your words and the way you use your hands to communicate during your interviews. Thank you so much, Ebo.
Thank you too.
So now let's go to Jojo. Jojo, we are ready for you.
All right. So today we're going to be going through, as usual, something very simple, something actionable. Like, I want to give you super practical tips on acing the interview. So once the slides are up, today we'll be going into like 4 really simple topics. Number 1, we'll be breaking down the interview in terms of what it is, like what even is an interview, right? You need to break that down a bit, and we've already gotten a great overview from my fellow panelists. So we're going to be, 1, breaking it down, and 2, we're going to be looking at some top tips in terms of how to really ace the interview, some actionable steps that I have used in the past that people that I know have used and speak highly of. We're going to be going into, as well, we're going to be talking about the STAR method, which to me is like if you could answer every single interview question that you are ever given, this is the method that will help you do it. And then finally, we're going to be going into some do's and don'ts on the interview circuit. All right. And so, like, what is an interview, right? So, as we already discussed, it's just a conversation. It's a conversation between you and the person interviewing you on a few things. Number one, what are your qualifications? What makes you the right person for the role? So once you've answered those questions, then you're looking at why is the company interesting to you? Why is it the right fit? Because at the same time, don't forget, it's not just a one-way conversation, right? You're looking at two people, or again, it could be a panel as well, deciding whether or not for both parties the role is the right fit. So once you've established one, your qualifications, two, your fit for the company, now you're looking at other things like what you can bring to the role, specifically, apart from your qualifications, because qualifications are just on paper. We were looking for X, Y, Z. We wanted a master's graduate. We wanted somebody who has experience with marketing. But now you're looking at once you're done with those things, then you're looking at your fit. And finally, once you've cleared fit, the interview comes down to one question. Why should we hire you? Those are the basic elements of any interview.
So then let's let's look at this. So
Okay.
once the slides are coming up
Okay.
for Jojo.
Yeah.
One thing that I've been wondering.
Yeah.
Whenever we get the opportunity to go for an interview,
Yeah.
how do we ensure that we know the appropriate dressing to use?
Okay, so if you're taking time to research the organization, understand their culture and even their values, you get a sense of how people even dress into the institution. Like, I mean, every banker, so to say, is supposed to be in suit and tie.
Yeah.
But EcoBank is a little bit different. I mean, especially those who work at ePros, they do T-shirts and you can dress anyhow. Not anyhow, sorry. You can dress down at any point in time or any day. So if I'm going to say EcoBank, the way they dress will kind of inform me as to how to approach. But I have a simple rule. Irrespective of how the company dress, you have to appear professional. Professional means what? I think if we're a male, a suit, white shirt or blue shirt, maybe with a red tie, and then you are good to go. If
You said a suit, what?
a suit, white shirt or blue shirt with a red tie.
Why red?
Red is pronounced and is solid. It gives me this kind of assurance that you know what you are about, you know. And sometimes it's a bit subjective when it comes to HR people and even the kind of things that they like. But something that is so pronounced for everybody, it's so visible for everybody to see, nobody can bypass it. And that's why I will go in for red. Oh. I mean, the red also balances with your black jacket or the blue black suit that you are wearing.
Powerful. So you look powerful for your interview.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so Jojo, let's come back to you and kindly give us your perspective about how your thoughts, your opening thoughts. Kindly continue with your opening thoughts. We're very interested now. I'm really looking forward to those things that you have to say.
Sure. So I'll just start with something really simple. A job interview doesn't really test your knowledge. It just tests your ability to use it at the right time. And when you think about it that way, it kind of makes you a bit more relaxed, because at the end of the day, it's not like school, right? School is like, sometimes it's true, poor, pass, forget. And the interview is like, it's not about that. The interview is saying you are a person, you have a complete package. What do you bring to the table? So you're being considered holistically. It's not just what you learned in school. Because I know that sometimes, particularly for young people like us, it's like, hey, I didn't get a first class. Would they want me? Don't worry about that. Worry about the fact that you have worked so hard, gotten skills in different places, gotten so many different experiences, and then are able to take them into your next role after the interview. So now what gets assessed during the interview? We're looking at things like your qualifications. We're looking at why you are applying. Like, why is the job interesting to you? If you studied, I don't know, physics at school, why are you applying for a role in the arts? Somebody can ask you a question like that, and it's okay. Because at the end of the day, people change, interests change. So you should be able to answer questions about your motivation for applying for a role. And from your motivation, then you look at the fit with the company. Because at the end of the day, every interview and its outcome has to give two sides. One, the employer has to be satisfied that they found the right person to meet their needs. And on the other hand, the employee needs to also know that they are in a role that suits their skill set and where they can be impactful. So it needs to suit both sides. Now, how do you win? How do you ace the interview? And it's three key things. Number one, you have to demonstrate your focus, you have to demonstrate maturity. Because we are looking for people to come and solve a problem. We're not looking to come and train 1,000 people if you're an employer. You are looking to solve a problem. So you need to demonstrate that maturity, you need to demonstrate that preparedness. And that's really number two, just showing preparedness. Like, one thing you can do to stand out is show that you care. Show that you have gone to the effort of preparing for the interview, of doing your research, and of coming, ready to go. And finally, communicate effectively. Because at the end of the day, you can know everything in the world. Because like I said, it's not about what you know, it's about employing it or deploying it at the right time. So no matter what you know, if you do not communicate it effectively, your interview, it will be beans. So please, communicate effectively. And finally, every interview is about one question. Why should we hire you? You specifically, you Kojo, you Ama, you Akosia, why should we hire you? And so from there, we're just going to go into some killer questions, because there's some questions that always come up, no matter what you're interviewing for, no matter what the role is. Like you can be going for janitor, you can be going for CEO, you will get some questions conked, they will always come. One of those is tell me about yourself. You mean
this is conk apple?
Always come. So, number one, tell me about yourself, or some variant of it. This question is basically trying to assess who you are as a holistic person. And this is not really the time to tell them that your favorite passion is, I don't know, playing badminton on the weekends. As much as that can come maybe on the later side of your answer, you always want to be discussing the things about yourself that are pertinent to the role. So for instance, if you're applying for a role with a publisher, you can talk about the time you started a book club. Things like that are relevant to your role. So as much as you are bringing in your personality, you are still including things that are relevant to the employer's needs. Now, another question that almost invariably comes up is, what are your strengths? What do you bring to the position? And this is another point where, just like last week, go back to the job description. And I keep harping on the job description because it is essentially the one document. It's like going into an exam with a marking scheme. Don't slack. They've given you exactly what they are looking for. And while, again, nobody is the ideal candidate, because at the end of the day, companies just create their job descriptions based on a dream person. Nobody fits that. So please don't be scared if you don't fit that precisely. Understand that you can fit it 60% and get the role. You can fit it 70% and get the role. So make sure, like I said last week, you shoot your shot. Make sure you prepare for that interview and make sure you crush it. Another question that usually comes up is, what do you think it takes to succeed in this position? In this question, the employer is trying to assess your understanding of the role and what it takes to fulfill it. So this is the point where the research that you've been doing on the industry, on the job that you want, etc., comes to bear. Because if you are going for instance, a social media manager role, and you do not know how to use Twitter or you don't know how to use IG, this is where you'll be found out. So please make sure that your knowledge and your skills are on point for what you want to, for the role you're interviewing for. And finally, the last question, why should we hire you? This is the big question that every interview is about. Like I said, this is your chance to really sell yourself, because at the end of the day, don't forget, you're not the only candidate in the room. There are dozens of other candidates out there. So this is the point where you show why you are unique. And to do that, we're going to talk about the STAR method. Now, the STAR method is almost as if, like, for any behavioral interview question, it's almost like what like you can answer any, literally, you can answer any behavioral question, because you know all those questions that are like, oh, tell me about a time when, or have you ever, or give me an example of. For those kind of questions that are asking for something that you've done in the past, or something you've done in the past, or an experience that you've had, these are the questions you use the STAR method for. So they are basically called behavioral questions. And the STAR method is broken down into 4 parts. Number 1, situation. Number 2, task. Number 3, action. And number 4, result. So what does that mean? So let's say if somebody asked me, tell me about a time you failed at your role and how you maybe managed it. So assuming that my role was to be a panelist on this show, right? I would say, okay, so one time I was developing my slides for the show and they weren't ready on time. That's an example, right? So what you can then do is, again, look at STAR, situation. I've just outlined the situation. I was preparing slides for the show, they were not ready on time. Now, the task, what is your task? What were you meant to do? Again, you've already heard the task. I was meant to prepare slides for the show. So that's situation, that's task, right? Now, action. What did you do about that situation? So I took a commercial break, went back to the room, prepared quickly, and came back and presented extempore. So now you showed what you did in the situation. And finally, result. What was the outcome? Due to my honesty in the situation, the number of viewers for the next stream increased by 10% from the average. So now you have shown the situation, aka slides were late. You have shown the task, what were you supposed to do? Prepare slides. You have shown the action, which was to go back and take some time to do them quickly. And you have shown the result, which was the increase in viewership. That's the STAR method. Now think about any interview question that you can get, such as, tell me about a time that you led a team. Just apply the same method. Situation, task, action, and result. And one key to the STAR is really the result. If you can quantify any of your results, particularly, just quantify it. If it's a statistic, if it's anything with numbers is great for showing impact. So use the STAR method and ace your interviews. And finally, I'm just going to run you really quickly through some top tips for interviewing that will help you to land your dream job. Number 1, research the company, the field, and the position. Researching the company, you can start from LinkedIn, you can use Google search, so many different ways you can do it. Same thing with the field and the position. Know your resume. Please, this one is so important. If you said, no, it's a real thing. It happens so often. And one thing, please don't lie on your resume. They will catch you. And even if they don't catch you at the interview, they will catch you when you enter the role, and you don't want that. At the end of the day, if you want a dream role, you can take an intermediate step before you get there, acquire the skills, and then apply for that dream job. So yes, know your resume, know what you have said you can do, know the experiences you've said you had, and make sure you are able to speak to them. And practice your questions, right? Just Google common interview questions. You will find so many interview questions that you can take, practice with a friend, practice with your family, and get feedback. And then prepare your own questions, because like we've discussed already, an interview is not one way. An interview is a conversation. It's a dialogue. Both sides are trying to find fit. So show that you care, show that you're trying to find the fit by asking questions that show your preparation, that show your interest in the role, and that show that you are ready for the job. And finally, have a good attitude. Your attitude, honestly, can make or break you in an interview. So have a great attitude when you walk in, have a smile, and be ready to answer all the questions. You'll do great. And finally, I just wanted to leave you with one closing thought. If you were able to believe in Santa Claus for 80 minutes, you can believe in yourself for 30 minutes. So go out there, apply for that job, and ace that interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Powerful.
If you were able to believe in Santa Claus for 80 years, was it only 8 years that you believed in him? Then believe in yourself for just 30 minutes, and you will make that interview the one that will help you land your job. Thank you so much, Jojo, for that presentation. And I think with these two thoughts, we are more than ready to launch into the deep now. So therefore, if you're on Zoom, or you're on Facebook, or you're on Insta Live, and you are listening to us, and you've heard those things, and you had those thoughts, and things that you think that, Charlie, this one, dear, I have to get the answer today. Please send your questions, send your comments, and we'll be willing to be with you. And we have Catherine Kloku, you are joining from Kaswa Barrier. Thank you so much for being on today. And then we have Beatrice from Kumasi. And then we have Roberta Nyaku, you're also joining from Bong. Thank you so much for being on the program today. This program is made specially for you. And I'm sure you've heard so much that you're like, wow, this one, I would have been in real trouble if I hadn't listened. So I would encourage you to call your friends or send your friends messages and share the link with them. Tell them that, Charlie, you are missing. Come here right now. I have also, as well, we have Roland Jato. Yeah, okay, Roland Jato has a question, so we'll answer the question shortly. Okay. But we are looking at other people, like Emmanuel Tinkran, who says, great insight. And then we have Roberta joining from Bong, and then Efriye Watson from Kolebu. Thank you, Efriye, for being on the show together. We have Irene has a question for you. Okay. Your dress, no? Okay. The dress that you spoke about is giving us wahala today. Okay. So let me give you two questions. Okay, the first one is from Irene, who says that, please, he gave the dress code for men. What should a woman wear? Okay. So that is from Irene. Okay. And then we have another question from Roland, saying that, Ebo, yeah. He heard red tie signifies authority and mandate. So is it right for a job seeker to put on a red tie when facing the panel? Well, technically he said yes, but you join the two questions and give us a quick response. Okay, sure. So issues about red tie. I mean, it has to do with style, but I mean, look at every person in authority, anytime they appear, look at even U.S. presidents, when they appear, they are mostly in red tie. So if it's good for you, it blends with your color, blends with, I think it blends even with the jackets and even with the shirt that you put in. So it's good. It signifies that. So if you are good for it, then go for it. For the ladies, I think a skirt suit with the camisole, white, blue. Usually the light blues and whites are always a good blend if you go in that. For ladies, yeah, skirt suits, either coffee brown, dark gray, blue, black, or black will be fine for a lady. Yeah. Yeah, Jojo, do you have anything to add to that? Nope. Because Nutifafa also had the same question to ask. Okay. About clothing. I think it's you just need to make sure that you are decently dressed, yeah, both for men and women. Ensure that, like you said, your clothes are neat, your hair is well done, your nails are trimmed, because you would be surprised at the level of detail that interviewers look out for. Yeah. So just make sure that you're well put together. We have Zachariah joining us on Zoom from Tamale. Zachariah, welcome to the program. And I would like to encourage you once again to send your questions in as we go along. One thing I would like to add to the dress code is that whether you're a gentleman or a lady, you must research into the kind of industry you are going into, or the kind of position you are coming into. For instance, if you're an accountant, because we expect accountants to be upright, they are straitjacket. it serves you so much when you go in with a suit. Unlike where you go in with, if you go in with the African wear, yes, we are doing, let's buy made in Ghana.
Yep.
But for now, for the interview position, wait a little, wear your jacket, wear your suit, and go there with the from head to toe. Additionally, ensure that if you are an accountant,
Yep.
don't wear brown. Brown is one of the colors that we do is black, dark colors or anything. So that's for both ladies and gentlemen. You are wearing your suit and your dark colors with a contrasting color, ideally the white, the blue, and so on and so forth. Ladies, I beg, don't come and show us boobs, okay? Don't show us boobs because we don't like the boobs. When we see the boobs, we say that this person is not ready to work. This person thinks he's going for a club meeting, and this is not a club, a party. A party we would show you. I mean, no, don't show boobs anywhere. But if you show boobs, immediately it takes you some way out of the. And let me just add my last one.
Yes.
Your shoes, please let them be polished. Polish your shoes. When you get there, by all means, you say, oh, me, I'm walking, I don't have Uber. No problem. I came from Trotro. No problem. Just before you enter the yard, take your handkerchief. So you must have 2 handkerchiefs that day. Take your handkerchief, polish your shoes before you enter. And then when you get into there, ask for the ladies or the gents. Go to the bathroom, see that you don't have too much sweat on your face, see that your face is well put together, and then you can come out and sit down gently. If they ask you to be there at 7 o'clock, make sure you are there latest by 6:30. Don't come late, because when you come late, you tell the people that this person does not respect time. It doesn't matter what you say. It does not. It shows you don't respect them. You don't respect time, and that company, unless they are not a serious company, is against you again. Okay. Yeah. So I think I have done enough of your work.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've done well, and guys, I guess I did all this because we wrote this about 8 to 9 years ago. 2010. Oh, 10 years ago.
10 years, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's Career Starter Pack. I mean, because we felt that we looked at the way we're having about 300,000, and at that time it was 300,000. So with the number of universities that we have in the country, the number has more than doubled. Yeah. Anyway, we have this book here. And this book, I have 3 special copies for 3 special viewers today. You have a simple challenge. Send that link. Let somebody know about this program, and the details will be on the link after we finish the program. When you win, the person with the highest shares as well as likes, you would win this prize, and it is all yours. Don't share it with anybody. I know a friend who, when he was in secondary school, he was in Fanspem, he got a copy of this book. He learnt it over, and he said he was the next to his Bible. Wow. So when he finishes reading his Bible, then he will read Career Starter Pack. He read this book, and when he was in university first year, he got an internship because he applied the rules in this book.
Amazing.
Second year, he got a paid internship. You know, internship usually is free.
Exactly.
But for second year, he got a paid internship. Third year, he was now, like a country manager. It was an international organization. Oh, wow. And in third year, so he was earning money whilst he was in school. This book is magic. Please make sure you go to Altar Bookshop to buy one, or do the thing on Instagram and as well as on Facebook. And next week or on 29th, you would win a copy if you are the highest sharer. Thank you very much. So let's go back to our thing. Okay. So we have looked at some of those questions that you both gave us some questions that we must be looking out for. And in that question part, you were saying you talked about different things. And so What if I get there and then they ask me that we want a copy of your CV? You know, you send the CV to them.
Yeah.
What should I do?
Well, okay, so we want to take that, or I should
No,
take
you take it.
Okay, all right, sure. So I have an experience where I've done all that, sent everything. I enter the room, and they ask, the panelist says, we don't have a copy of your CV, and everything you're going to discuss should be from your CV. Honestly, I didn't take a copy. Maybe at that time I hadn't read the book because this was 2008.
Okay.
You know, but quickly I was quick. I think I saved it on either a pen drive or something. I quickly dashed that, printed it, and then came back. Apparently, it was part of the process of examining me, whether I would think beyond just sending the CV. So now I come back and I said, okay, it was just a test because they had a copy. And then, so from that day, even before I read anything about preparation for interviews, I will always have copies, not just one copy. Not just one copy. Copies of my CV, so that if there are even 10 panelists and everybody wants a copy, I'll be able to give a copy to that individual.
So, if you have, is it advisable,
Yeah.
Jojo, is it advisable to be taking notes during your interview?
That's an interesting one. I feel like it depends on the type of interview, because at the end of the day, if it's a one-on-one interview, it's a bit tough to take notes because you're supposed to be responding, you're supposed to be listening as the person speaks. So it's a bit tough to take notes. If you're on a panel discussion or in a group setting, it's a bit easier to consider taking notes. But what I would do if I were you is don't try and recollect everything. Don't try and capture everything. Focus on the really important stuff. Focus on the stuff that you know you would like to either reference when it's your turn to ask questions or things that you think will come up later in the interview. So those are the two big areas that you need to focus on. But taking notes in the interview, while it would be ideal, the issue with that is that sometimes you may end up in your quest to take notes either not connecting with your interviewer, which is even more important because at the end of the day, it's a conversation and conversation requires connection. Or even worse, you may miss important information. So yeah, you know, as much as you would like to take notes, just try and make sure that you are capturing things as they are being said mentally and focusing on the more important ones. Perfect answer.
Right. So at this moment, if you are there and you have any questions, do send us your questions. Send us your shout outs as well, and we'll get right back to you. Right now, at this moment, I want us to break. Let them pause a little. Okay. Let them take some breath, and then we'll bring on Victor Speaks. After that, we'll come back. So don't go away. Right from this commercial break, we'll be back with another poetry recital from Victor Speaks.
Together.
So I was thinking of a way to begin this piece, and then I thought, why not start by telling them you're actually thinking of a way to begin the piece? And so apologies to those who are looking out for some other fancy start, because that's all I've got. So down to it. Did you know your eyes actually see the world upside down? But then, hey, you don't have to continue listening unless, of course, you find this interesting. So yes, your eyes actually see the world upside down. But then your brain is so powerful that it corrects your sight for you. So it's not really about what you see, but what you think of what you see. See, in a related study, I discovered a phenomenon called psychoneuroimmunology, which suggests that your mental disposition has a tendency to affect your body's condition. See, my conclusion is this, that your future is just a reflection of your mind's organization. See, you're simply a reflection of what you thought of yesterday. So you want to know the future? Think it. For see, a man bound in shackles is free as long as his mind can build castles. For even after 27 years of imprisonment, Nelson Mandela became president. In no such nation on the globe is this even possible, except imagination. And once imagination sets sail, realization is the next stop destination. For see, the mind is a seemingly simple organ. Remind you, what consumes your mind controls your life. See, failure is a state of mind. Poverty is a state of mind. Rejection is a state of mind. So before you open your mouth, open your mind. See, no one ever became great in life without first becoming great in mind. For it's when you master your mind that you become a mastermind. For see, some of the greatest inventions of life began on someone's mind. I mean, why do you think Facebook is always asking you, what's on your mind? My answer? Never mind. See, what you can't perceive, you can't receive. Well, this fact should blow your mind. That if all the money in the world were to be distributed equally, in no time, it'll return to their respective owners. Because you can only be as rich as the mind you possess. So now, what's on your mind? Thank you.
What's on your mind? Thank you. Be right back.
You a young person dealing with the disruptions caused by COVID-19 to our careers, education, health, and social lives. Welcome to the CORE program, an e-learning, e-mentoring, and e-counseling program designed to equip you with diverse skills to enable you to thrive now and even beyond this pandemic. We encourage you to download the video, audio, and workbook for each episode for free on the CORE program website, www.core.com.gh. If you are an MTN user in Ghana, you can download all videos, audios, or workbooks on our website without using your data. It's completely zero rated. And here's the bonus benefit. If you register on the website and go through a minimum of the 20 of the 24 sessions before the end of November, you will qualify for a certificate of completion from the CORE program. We will be very excited to hear from you. Post your questions and comments on our social media pages at CORE program or send them to us on the CORE WhatsApp hotline 0551 535 533. CORE, learning together, growing together.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your favorite Thursday night hangout, the Springboard Core Hangouts. The Springboard Core Hangouts is an initiative of the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with Solidaridad and the MasterCard Foundation. And your words and your thoughts are flowing in, and I mean, it's simply amazing. Alberta from Domi says, insightful as always. Thank you, Alberta. It's because of you that we are here, and we are grateful that you're enjoying us. Nuti Fafa had asked a question about the ladies dressing, and definitely that has been answered already. So we have Roland Jato all the way from Wa. Roland, I think today, so far in Ghana, you are the one who is farthest away. Thank you for being in Accra with us. And I have a question about virtual dressing. So when we come back, Jonathan Ayete says, lovely presentation. Thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan was with Springboard as one of our very, very illustrious workers. So thank you, Jonathan, for being with us today. We have Linda Oye, who's saying that thank you for this wonderful presentation. We have Insia Peter also says a great insight. I think this should be taught in school, and I agree with you. And CORE is our virtual school. Make sure that you do join every Thursday evening, and you have another session with the school. And most importantly, when you go to our website, core.com.gh, you have materials there that you can tap into at every point in time. Nuhu Suleimana says that very inspiring. I have Samuel Enchi, who is joining from New Edubiasi. We also have Councillor Jesse joining from Kumasi, who says great presentations. Thank you, Councillor. We are very grateful to you for being with us today. I have Felicia saying that, hello, good evening. And so Felicia is on Zoom. She's saying that, please, in the process of researching about the company, can you ask questions from employees in the company if it's possible? Ebo, can you help us with that?
Yes, so as long as it is possible. I even mentioned that in research about the decision, go to LinkedIn and just Google CarBank staff or just CarBank. You see the company, you see people. connect with somebody. I normally say that don't just connect and say, I did your job. Connect, build some kind of rapport with me, and then begin to ask me questions about the culture, this and that. And anybody who is friendly, really, will give you every information that you need. So it's crucial. And then I also know that, I mean, we have friends. So today I've met Jojo, and I know Jojo also has connections. So Jojo, I know you have a friend who works at so and so place. I just need so and so information, and we get some of these calls and some of these requests daily. So it is possible if the opportunity presents itself. Yes.
Thank you. So Jojo, Kojo Daniels is asking, please, I want to ask, how do I negotiate my salary? And I know the cash is king. Thank you.
That's a good one. One thing I would say about negotiating salaries, I would start with, don't start with money. And this is why. If you walk into an interview thinking about how much you're going to make or how much the role can impact you financially, you will likely fail. And this is why. Because your interests or your needs and the company's needs are misaligned in that moment. And this is why, essentially, one is thinking about money, one is thinking about impact or solution. So when you start the interview, focus on the solution side. The negotiation side will come once you've done the solution side effectively. And when you are at the negotiation table, here are a few tips you can use. One, ask them what the role means to them. If I can come in as, let's say, a chief architect or as head gardener, whatever it is, if I do my job well, if I do my job exceptionally well, what impact would that have on your organization? Would it then mean that your lawns are so famous that they attract people to come and sit in your cafe? How much business would that bring you? And then, and only then, when you have that figure that says, you know, as a head gardener, if I do my job well, I can attract X number of customers, which will bring X amount of revenue. Then you can say, would it be fair to ask for 1% of that revenue? And if you are doing your job well, whatever you bring in, whatever value you add, if you ask for a percentage of that value, once you have demonstrated that value, it is very hard for an employer who is rational, because at the same time, now you are aligned with the employer. Now you're on the same page. You are providing value, but you are also getting the financial reward for that value. No employer is going to tell you no.
No employer is going to tell you no. If you are providing value.
Yeah.
In where you have been positioned. Thank you very much. This one is more to me. Prosper is saying that, why is brown suit for interview considered odd? In fact, that is my favorite color. Yeah. Prosper, I agree with you. I said it was only for accountants. So if you are not in the accounting profession, you are fine to wear your brown suit. Every profession have their color code. For instance, if you are going as a pharmacist in the medical profession, if you go and see somebody who is in black, you
of course
you will not, because of the profession. So you must look at the accepted color code in your profession and dress appropriately. It's all part of your research. And definitely for me, sometimes the interviewing the employees, yeah. I find interviewing either the people at the front desk or at the security gate, the ones with the most info. They know who is who in the organization. Right. So if you go and just start from the top, or you start mid-level, yes, you would get some information. But if you want the down low, please start with the receptionist, yeah. the security and those people.
Yes,
you
drivers,
will get
yes.
all the apple.
Yeah.
Then you use it appropriately. It's not the gossip, it's apple.
It's apple.
Right.
It's apple.
Okay. So we have Irene. Irene is joining from Bolga. And he says that she loves your words. Thank you very much. And then Infinix Hot 9, I think last week you were there as well. This program has helped me a lot due to this pandemic. I have I have got some of my customers back. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you, Infinix. Next time, let us know. You come to the backside and just give us your name, because you will want to say your name online. And Ajwa is saying, thanks a lot for this. And this is, I believe these are all from, they are from Zoom. Okay, so this is a number, 216171. This is also on Zoom. Great Knowledge Hub. Thank you to the core team. Hashtag the core effect. I think we should adopt that too. What do you think?
It's not bad.
It's not bad. The core effect. This is a good one. Thank you. Thank you. Number 216171. The number 2 is very nice. And Adam is saying, good evening. Please, I would like to know if it is acceptable for a guy to put on an African print tie to an interview. Thank you. African print. Jojo is shaking the head here. Okay.
so you see, if I actually researched about the institution and then spoken to certain individuals, I can't say fully that it's either accepted or not. Okay, let me give you an example. When you are going for an IT job, normally they wouldn't even care whether you are in suit or in tie or not, so maybe they will gloss over it. But when you are going for, say, positions that requires that you appear in those, some African people will look down on it. It hasn't caught up so much with us. I believe that a time will come, maybe it will. And I remember, just quick example. I remember I went for an interview, and it was a Friday, so I put an African print, and I had to convince the panel. It was about 15 to convince them why I wasn't, and then it was more okay. Well, let's continue. I didn't get a job, and I knew it was because of that back and forth I had with them. So my suggestion: stay away from it. Go with the normal ones that it's easily acceptable for everybody. Yes.
Fantastic. Somebody, that some people are saying in the studio that we've been colonized. No, it's been colonized. The thing is, when you have the suit or whatever it is, the organization has a dress code.
Yeah.
So look at that dress code and dress above the dress code. So if the organization wears T-shirts, then T-shirts are good. Therefore, put on your T-shirt and a jacket. Yeah. If the people say they wear suits, that one you don't have any excuse whatsoever to go in African print. Please wear your suit and go. If you don't have one, go and borrow one for that day only. And then if you choose when you are given the opportunity to now come and change the company culture, good luck to you. Exactly. Because you have an objective while you're going for the interview. True. So achieve that objective first. And then when you've achieved the objective, you want to do a revolution, one-man revolution, you can go ahead with the one-man revolution.
If I may, yes. So pass the interview, so dress how the company will expect you to dress. Then when you get in, where I worked before, and even now, the guys usually were not wearing suspenders. But I do suspenders. So I get in there, the people are like, hey, who is this guy? This is not really how we dress. And today, I see people around, sometimes even senior people wearing suspenders. So but the day of the interview, I don't go in suspenders.
No.
Pass the interview, and when you get in there, if you think that you can actually change the culture with the way you dress, yeah, fine, so be it.
Well, Bernoforis says that CORE has delivered many of us from the shackles of life. Thank you, great initiative. Thank you so much, Ben. We are very grateful. And then we have Blaze Marshall. You're saying that great presentations. Alice Boateng, you're also saying that great insight. Abigail, thank you for being online. You say nice piece. And then Manuel says that really enjoyed watching. And Frank says nice program. Now, if you want to ask your question in your own voice, just if you're on Zoom, just raise your hand. Use the raise hand feature. And then your mic will be unmuted and you can ask your questions. So I would encourage those of you who are on Zoom, just raise your hand and you'll be patched and we can hear your voice loud. And I'm sure some of you have such lovely voices. But what you could do to help us is that ensure that your internet connection is good. Then we will have no breaks when you are asking your questions. All right. So Kofi Martin is connecting from Takrady, and he says that this program has made my night. Thanks so much. Alice Boating also says the core effect. Fantastic. So we Anthony Ando, it's great to hear from you, and I know you have a very burning question for us. Anthony, you are ready. We are ready to listen to you. Please come through.
Okay, thank you very much, Comforto, Crying Jojo, and the other guest. Sorry, your name didn't stick so well, so I'm sorry if I couldn't mention it properly. I want to know from the panelists that if you are in an interview and then like you are done, and then the panelists or the interviewers will ask you, do you have any question for us? And you are likely not like you, if you have a question for them, how does it position you in their minds? Okay, and if you don't have any question for them, how does it also position you in their minds? I want to know how they would think about you. And then does it even have chances of you getting the job, irrespective of what has happened, whether you nailed it or you didn't nail it? So I wanted to know from the panelists.
Great question, right? Your questions, like you said, do they have an effect? What is the effect? Great, we're going to go into that. Questions can make or break you on both sides. Their questions can break you and your questions can break you, but equally they can make you. So ensure that your question, again, this goes back to the research part. Once you see your job description and you know it, now you can look at the organization. Go and research it. Seriously, take your time, do your research, and it will pay off. Because at the end of the day, there's a big difference between asking, oh, what is the company like? A question like that. It's a lazy question. There's a difference between that and saying in your strategic plan for 2025, you talk about the need to expand into markets, including European markets. How do you intend to do that? Or how does my role fit into that strategy? That is a question that can win you a job. The first one, not so much. So it's two things, right? The questions can either really help your chances or hurt them. But please, if you really want to hurt your chances, don't ask a question.
Okay, so I will say never going into an interview without preparing to ask questions. You surely will have to ask some questions. But if probably no question pops up, or you think that everything that you need to know about a company, you've gotten the answers or the result from your research, fine. The person you are talking to, ask the individual. I mean, you are, say, an MD, executive director, whatever. How did you get here? Go, I mean, even if you don't know the person, now that you met him or her, ask her. I'm sure you also started from the bottom just like me. What do you think I should do to get to where you... Normally, when you ask that question, the person will just go back into the seat and begin to tell you about their life and the story and the stories and how they managed to get. So definitely prepare some questions and then go in there. But if you're able to get good questions, it will be as a result of the research that you have done about the institution, and then you should be able to ask some of these questions. But definitely not about money, definitely not about what kind of benefits. But you could even ask about your own development in the institution and how trainings and stuff like that are organized.
Yeah. I think that training question is, I mean, you asking that, what kind of development program do you have for team members? Yeah. It talks about how you are willing to contribute. And definitely, I think when you ask a question in regards to their strategic plan or what they want to do in future, it really tells the panelists that, oh, you are thinking about the organization. True. So I beg you, please ask a question, but prepare for that question. Exactly. Don't just ask any kululu question. Otherwise, it's like where's your website? We have Alice from Kofreda also saying that Hashtag the core effect.
Okay.
Charlie, that one I like. Pa. And Theophilus is saying that explicit delivery by panelists, and he's joining from KNUST. Guy, you are the guy. We have Beatrice, who is saying that Beatrice Asampuma is saying that, in fact, core has saved some of us. Oh, thank you. This program has unraveled so many things I didn't know about at first. Thank you, core program. Thank you also for being there and for taking those giving us this feedback. It tells us that we are reaching out to you, and we are very grateful that you are such a strategic part of our program. Linda wants to find out, how can one build confidence before going for a job interview? Can you help us, Ebo?
Okay, so I think the confidence will come when you are sure that you have all the information you need for the interview. So information about an institution, information about the job you've applied for, and then your CV. And I remember Jojo mentioned, as part of your preparation, you should know everything. I met somebody who asked me a question about the CV. The guy goes like, "Is that on my CV?" I said, "Yeah." So you see, we look at it. I said, "Oh," then it came with some kind of flimsy excuse. But confidence will usually come when you have a lot of information. So information about the job, information about you yourself as an individual, information about the institution. And so you come in, and no matter how the questions are thrown at you, you will be able to answer. And then when you listen to such programs also, it gives you different perspective. It helps you be able to answer any question and any issue that might come up. So I will encourage people to be glued to some of these interventions that Springboard Roadshow brings in all the time. Yeah.
Thank you.
And going back on confidence, right? It's like riding a bike or driving a car. Everything is the same in a way. So it's like the first time you rode a bike or you drove a car, it was frightening. You're like, what is happening? What am I doing? How does it work? And that's life, right? Your brain literally has no infrastructure or no memories to call from for that activity. And so it's okay. The first time you interview, you will likely be nervous. But to prevent that, you can interview ahead of time. Practice with your mother, practice with your father, practice with your sister, practice with your brother, practice with everybody you can find, because at the end of the day, it's just like any other activity. It's like playing ball. It's like anything you can think of. The first time you do it, it is petrifying because you haven't done it before. But the more you practice, the better you get. And the better you get, the more confident you become.
Thank you, Linda. I believe that this one you have been sorted out, one touch. You practice, 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 and when you get there, you'll be so comfortable, and you'll be laughing with them, and so on and so forth. Theophilus is saying, this is a funny one. He says that, I remember I was on an interview panel when we asked one gentleman, "Carry your chair," and he was so confused. Okay, so you are watching us on the Springboard Core Hangout. This is a weekly program on this, which is an initiative of the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with Solidaridad and the MasterCard Foundation. It is geared or targeted for young people between the ages of 18 to 35 across Ghana. And today we have indeed seen that we've got people from across Ghana listening to us. We also get people from outside Ghana, but so definitely you are at the right place at the right time, finding out about how you can ensure that you would ace that interview when the opportunity comes. Now for next week, which is the 19th of October to 23rd, our e-learning for the week is on cover letters for your CVs and resumes. And it tells you about what salient skills and relevant ones and experiences that project you as the best candidate for the role you are applying for. So definitely do join Jojo as he gives us a whole training on this part. Tune into any radio station around you, because we have 32 radio stations across the country. We have community information centers as well that are playing these episodes. These are just 15-minute episodes, and they are in English, they are in Ga, they are in Akan, and in Ewe. You can't miss out. Anywhere you are, every language, or not every language, but the 4 main languages that we have in Ghana, you have it. For anybody who wants any other thing, just call us or go to our website. So if you don't get it on a radio station near you, go to our website, www.core.com.gh. Core is spelled C-O-R-E, core.com.gh. And you would enjoy the episode on CV and resumes. Definitely what I would also like you to know is that if you complete 20 out of the 24 sessions that we are doing together for this core program, you will get a certificate of completion. When you complete 10, you will have a certificate of participation. Do you want to participate or you want to complete? I know I want to complete. So please finish it up and we will get a certificate of completion. We have our counseling sessions. So this program runs on 3 legs. We have learning, which we've just talked about, which we are going to look at resumes for next week. Is it resume or cover letter? Cover letter for next week. Then we are looking at mentoring, which also links you to people in different professional areas, where they'll teach you the ropes of their profession. So whether you want to be like a HR professional like Ebo, or you want to be a mason, or you want to be a lawyer, or you want to be a journalist, we have mentoring groups there. Send a message, mentoring, to our hotline, 055 153 5533, 055 153 5533, and we will get back to you and join you to a mentoring group. The same way we have a counseling session, which is we have with the people from the Ghana Psychological Association. It's beautiful. When you have people who have challenges in different aspects of their life, whether it is their personal life or it is their mental, whatever it is, and you go to those counseling sessions, you know that the counselors are there to help you, and they do help. So don't miss out. Again, send a message to our hotline, 055 153 5533, and you will be helped. Well, we have come to this thing, and next week we have 2 great events for you. We have the Core Conference, which is on Tuesday, and that is dubbed Leading You, Leading Me, and it's on Tuesday, 20th October. And we are going to be in 3 cities at once. We would have Montreal, we would have Addis Ababa, and of course, Accra. I mean, everything. I mean, Accra is a center of the world, so everything happens in Accra. So don't be left out. We'll have Dr. Yao Pebi from Montreal. We'll have Akosia Kunedu Asamoah also from Accra, and from Accra, and then we'll have Klenam Nomeno from Addis Ababa. My friend Charlie, you can't miss out. The Core Hangouts next week, Thursday, we are looking at personal and digital branding for career success. Charlie?
Powerful.
Our job series day form. So digital marketing professional Gad Okran. So I think that day will be Gad Okran will be there. And he got all his jobs from LinkedIn. Is that possible? My friend, come and find out next week, Thursday. Shirley Aqua Harrison will let us know how to navigate the road of personal branding. And of course, if you want to laugh, I beg, don't miss next week, Thursday, because we won't laugh, Papa, because we are hanging out. Lexi, the comic, would be on show. Don't miss out, because I know me, when we finish the program, I'll get my own show. Don't forget that on the virtual university, your topic, My Ideal Ghana, is continuing. We are going to have a very insightful discussion with Professor H. Prempe and Kimani. You can't afford to miss it. So be there for the virtual university as well on Sunday. There's so much to learn from the Springboard group. So don't miss anything. Just follow us on our various social media handles, at Springboard, at Core Program, or join us on Twitter, and you would always learn something new every time we interact. Well, we are back into the studios, and we have our guests here, and they are getting ready to give us their closing comments and their final thoughts. So, Ebo,
Yep.
you have helped us so much. I mean, for me, I knew that the color combination was great, but clearly outlining what those things do for us has been very helpful. So is there any part of this program that you think that, we should have added this part, that will make it complete? So can you share one thing that you think that our listeners would really, really benefit from your perspective?
Okay, so what I'll say is that you present a very good CV with a very good cover letter. So, like the Bible says, you'll be given a great name, and then you appear before the panel or for an interview, and you are not able to match up to this great name that you have, or this great CV or cover letter that you have presented. It's an opportunity that is wasted. My humble appeal to each and every one of us is, once you have gone through this with us tonight, take your time, think about your career, institution you want to work, research about them, take time to learn about yourself, go through your CVs again, revise, review them, update them, spread them out, and then ensure that you practice and practice and practice and practice. And I bet you, any interview that you get, any opportunity you get, you will be able to get a job. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, so Jojo, thank you so much for being with us today. You have been so, your presentation was very eye-opening. How can you, one thing that you think that we should add, or one thing that you think that we should keep at the back of our minds as we go into these interviews?
Okay. She said one thing, but I'll give you two. What else? One, STAR is really, because a lot of the time the way we're trained in school is, baba, you shoot. Don't shoot your stories. It becomes very apparent, especially for people who interview thousands of people, when somebody is just giving them a rehearsed answer. So yes, know the important situations, know where you've made an impact, but use the STAR method to craft those stories that will help you stand out. And don't forget, STAR is situation, task, action, result. So 4 things, really simple. It's a framework, so you can apply it to any question instead of trying to remember things by rote. And finally, if you believed in Santa for 8 years, you can believe in yourself for 30 minutes. Go into that interview with confidence. Know that you've been doing the work all these years, and finally, it's your time to shine. Go crush it.
It's your time to shine. Go crush it. And I'm very grateful to you, Adam Mustafa, for saying that on becoming a volunteer on Core is what is on my mind. Okay, Adam, we'll get in touch with you. So kindly send a private message to the Springboard program. You're on Zoom, I presume. So send your number to the Springboard program, and we will get in touch with you. And because we're going to do something for volunteers shortly. So thank you for volunteering to be part of the Springboard program. I have the Adiki, who is saying that thanks for this session. Thank you. So this says the question is about what's the appropriate way to say thank you to an panelist. Adiki, so please just send a thank you message via email to the person to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you. And Adiki is one of our Springboard alumni who is currently studying in the US. And finally, Samuel is saying that, in fact, Core has come to change the life of this country, including me and my family. So let's join and share to boost the morale and fight against COVID-19. And Samuel, those words are like gold. They are like music to my ears, because that is what we wish Core would do for every single individual between the ages of 18 to 35 in this country. So do share, do spread the word. And as I said, 2 weeks' time, we have this book that will give out to 3 individuals who share widest about what we are doing on Insta and Facebook. So it's your time to make sure that this word goes far and wide. So share this particular video and tag us core program, hashtag core program, hashtag core effect, and we will make sure that the highest sharer and likes will win a book. The book is called Career Starter Pack. And with that, we come to the end of today's program. We are so grateful that you joined us on Insta Live. You are so grateful you joined us on Zoom as well as on Facebook. Before we go away, though, I have a takeaway gift for you. So stay tuned as we listen to Vitus Speaks as he takes us away. Vitus, go right away.
Are you a young person dealing with the disruptions caused by COVID-19 to our careers, education, health, and social lives? Welcome to the Core Program, an e-learning, e-mentoring, and e-counseling program designed to equip you with diverse skills to enable you to thrive now and even beyond this pandemic. We encourage you to download the video, audio, and workbook for each episode for free on the Core Program website, www.core.com.gh. If you are an MTN user in Ghana, you can download all videos, audios, or workbooks on our website without using your data. It's completely zero rated. And here's the bonus benefit: if you register on the website and go through a minimum of the 20 of the 24 sessions before the end of November, you will qualify for a certificate of completion from the core.
Your mind. How about I spend the first minute calling you names and the second explaining why? See, you were nothing. You were nothing but a phony. A complete failure for lack of a much bitter expression. See, you are the very definition of matter. You have weight and just occupy space. You are waste. And the pain in some place censorship wouldn't allow me to state you a disgrace. To the totality of the human race, see, mere thought of you leave me with a lingering migraine. You're so dumb, you probably wouldn't even pass a blood test. People like you have no future. Not even in an example, I wish you were sterile, so you don't have to pass your genes to other people. See, you walk around with a head, but no sense. Not even a sense of humor. You deserve to die. That would be one less idiot in the world's population. See, stupidity must be drawing inspiration from none other than your very own disposition. I mean, don't you see it yourself when you look at your mirror's reflection? Please, I beg you, never give advice to anyone. You might be altering a solution. You have no say. You can't even hold a regular expression. The only clause you know is Santa. These are no hateful words. I'm really trying to hold back my anger. See, I usually try to see the best in others, but looking at you, I can literally see the best in others. Who made you? God or an app? You look more like a controlled experiment. You're a standard deviation. No, I'm not just being mean. Look, honestly, I could compile a whole database of your folly, but see, no disk can store, so let me stall. See, I barely began introducing you, and my minute is up already, so I gotta switch. So why do I call you these names, you ask? Well, nothing. Yeah, right, nothing. No, seriously, nothing. I mean, this is what we do for a living. It's a movement. We simply hate on the progress of random people, and we don't even know why we do. See, those insults I hurled at you, I only had to think of myself to let them off. Maybe that is the reason I pick on you, because I can never be like you, though I try so hard. So if you can't beat them, break them, that is the brand. See, I said it's a whole movement, so there are many more of my kind in your school, your work, your community, your Facebook, your Twitter, even in your mind. Just waiting for you to give it all up, and gravity does the rest. It brings it all down to zero. Now what does that make us? Heroes. See, I shouldn't be confessing this, but hey, I've got nothing to lose. You still fall for it anyway. Because people's thoughts and comments about you matter more to you than yours. And people's disapproval of you determines whether or not you move on to the next cause of calls. See, we are the kind of ladders that insult you for every step you take on us, and once you listen, you never climb. See, we judge your life's book by the cover of another book. And guess what? We bring that book to judge you by. So if you do something good, we talk. If you do something bad, we talk. In fact, if you do nothing at all, we still talk anyway. So when we tell you that you are not good enough, what we really don't want to say is, we wish we were like you. Thank you.
Back to the basics. I brought one hour down so many times you don't want to even get up and just face it. You've been doing your best, trying to test every nest to find the best one you can lay in. That's why the core project is here to help you